Is the world's most powerful military witnessing a quiet but significant shakeup at the very top? And more importantly, what does it signal about leadership, politics, and control inside the United States military establishment? Today, we take a closer look at a sudden and controversial development in the United States Army: the reported removal of its top leadership. At the center of this story are two key figures: Randy George, the Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army, and Pete Hegseth, a political appointee, former Army officer, and media personality who now holds one of the most powerful civilian positions in the U.S. defense structure. What happened between them is raising serious questions. According to multiple reports, including inputs from major U.S. media outlets, General Randy George has been asked to step down immediately, not retire gradually, not transition smoothly, but step down. And this directive is coming from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Now, this is where things get interesting, because while Hegseth is often seen through the lens of his media background and ideological positions, it is important to understand this clearly. He is not acting outside the system. As the Secretary of Defense, he is legally empowered within the civilian chain of command to make such decisions. But what is raising eyebrows is not his authority. It is the manner and the motivation behind its use. Who is Randy George? To understand the gravity of this development, we must first understand who Randy George is. General George is not just any officer. He has served as the 41st Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army, one of the most critical positions in the American military hierarchy. His role involves overseeing the readiness, modernization, and global deployment of one of the largest and most powerful armies in the world. He has decades of experience, operational command credibility, and institutional trust, which makes his sudden removal all the more striking. Who is Pete Hegseth? Now let us look at the other side. Pete Hegseth represents a different kind of leadership influence. Yes, he is a former Army officer, but he is also a prominent media voice who has consistently taken strong ideological positions on how the U.S. military should function. He has criticized internal policies. He has argued for a more aggressive and culturally aligned military structure. And now, as Secretary of Defense, he is in a position to translate those views into decisions. In fact, this is not the first time concerns have been raised about the nature of his interventions. In a recent incident, Hegseth reportedly overruled the Army's internal disciplinary system to reinstate a flight crew that had faced action after flying over musician Kid Rock's residence. The Army had taken a position. A process had been followed, but that decision was reversed. Now, whether one agrees or disagrees with that move is a separate debate, but the signal it sent was clear: that institutional decisions could be overridden based on leadership discretion, shaped by personal or political judgment. This brings us to three critical concerns. First, process. Was due institutional procedure followed in this latest move, or was it expedited beyond convention? Second, timing. Why now? At a time when the U.S. is dealing with multiple global tensions, from Ukraine to the Indo-Pacific. Third, precedent. If senior military leadership can be removed abruptly under a more ideologically assertive framework, what does that mean for the autonomy and internal stability of the armed forces? Reports suggest that this move has triggered unease within defense circles because the U.S. military has historically prided itself on being apolitical, professional, and institutionally stable. Any perception that decisions at the top are being shaped more by ideological direction than institutional consensus could impact morale, decision-making, and even global confidence in U.S. military leadership. But this story is not just about one general or one decision. It reflects a larger shift. A shift where political authority is not just guiding the military, but actively reshaping its leadership and internal culture. The question is no longer whether such changes will happen. The question is, how far will they go? In any democracy, the military is expected to remain under civilian control. And that is exactly what the U.S. system provides. But it is equally expected to remain insulated from excessive political or ideological turbulence. The balance between these two principles is delicate. And when that balance begins to tilt, the consequences are not always immediate, but they are always significant. So here is the question you should be asking. Is this just a leadership change, or the beginning of a deeper transformation in how power is exercised within the world's most powerful military? If you found this analysis insightful, do like this video, subscribe to the channel, and support independent journalism by joining HW News Network. Because stories like these need to be told, clearly, calmly, and without bias.